you got him.
Crack him if you got him, son.
Happy Sunday service, Anthony.
Happy Sunday service, Alex.
I think that's what we say.
Did we exercise a demon? Did we get rid of BW1? People that are watching on the YouTube right now will see we are missing Bandwagon Boy 1 from his usual spot. I'm actually in the controller seat, which feels a little bit weird.
Hey, if you know where he is, please let us know. We've lost a Bandwagon Boy.
We lost a Bandwagon Boy. We did. We don't know. Actually, I see Brother Adrian in the chat. And before we jump into anything, we got a new piece of Cowboys decor.
Oh yeah,
courtesy of Brother Adrian.
Let me see that. That's nice.
We went down to Bellingham, Washington yesterday we went across the border, and it was actually quite easy. Picked up this little beauty. Well, Brother Adrian did, and we had a couple brewskis.
Yeah, I saw a photo there. It was nice. I was Brother Adrian invited me to meet him and Nate Dogg. But I think I don't know. I think I was just too unmotivated to do anything last night.
Man, so we will say this before we jump into stuff. It is hot as fuck here right now for us. Like I would say it's 95 Fahrenheit.
Oh, yeah.
In American terms, but it's about 32, 33 Celsius here, and it is toasty. We got a fan blowing on us. It feels good. What do we got for Cowboys content and news today, AJ?
Well, it's a 29 degrees right now in Chilliwack, or that was at 12 o'clock, actually, so it might be a little bit hotter. 36 degrees.
Is that what it's saying?
Today.
Holy shit. That's got to be pushing 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Woo!
I got to figure that out
I feel it. I'm feeling it. Now that you told me it was 36,
yeah,
I feel warmer.
Yeah, it's pushing 97 degrees Fahrenheit. And so we've got this range in Chilliwack of whatever. We go down to sometimes, 10 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
Minus 12, let's say. That would be the coldest part of the year.
Yeah.
But it's a good range. So you get it all here. But what we care about most on this podcast is actually the Dallas Cowboys. And there's a few of the biggest news items, and maybe you've heard more than me, but the biggest ones that I heard was a little bit of pushback from DQ on Micah Parsons saying, "Hey, let me bring
My bad.
No.
You also notice a little behind baseball. Like I said, it is my first, well, not my first time controlling the helm, but there might be a little, you might see a picture come out that's not supposed to be on the screen, like AJ standing in the nude, but we will do our best to get the proper stuff up. AJ's just quickly fixing his screen there. But I think what he was going to talk about is there's an article going around right now, and it was actually big news, I'd say a week and a half ago. It came out that Micah Parsons was going to be primarily playing defensive end, bulking up to play defensive end. And just recently, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but Dan Quinn pretty much squashed that, saying, no, Micah's a linebacker. Micah's going to be playing linebacker. If you want to talk about position changes, come talk to me. So that pretty much squashed it down about Micah Parsons just being a defensive end. I think it's going to be more or less like he was last year, maybe a little less, maybe a little bit more. Yeah,
it really depends on how they use the new weapons and what they're thinking of doing. You think, like, right now, there's a lot I think you could look at this in a lot of ways. They drafted to allow Micah to have more opportunity on the line. Either they're looking to switch out the other three dudes who are going to be in the line to keep everyone fresh, or including Micah, or, and that also, over Sean kind of plays into that argument as well. Or you can look at it as like, no, they bolstered the line so that Micah can be dropping back a little bit more. Plus now you've got Overshawn back there as well, who can play that coverage linebacker. So Micah's going to be stepping back a little bit. I believe that it's just, we're not going to hear how they're going to use him anyways. They're going to let teams figure that out.
Definitely. And it was kind of like into last year, you thought, I mean, what everyone thought didn't end up happening. But it says Micah Parsons is ready to switch positions for the Cowboys, but defensive coordinator Dan Quinn has other plans. Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn says Micah Parsons is not making a full-time move to defensive end. He's a pass rushing linebacker. If you ever need position changes, come to me. What I think he was probably trying to say is I'm really emphasizing some pass rush into my offseason. So, and I don't think with Micah's size, I don't think him getting to 255 is going to hurt him playing off the ball linebacker either. It's probably going to help him. It's going to help him get off blocks, not just on the defensive line, but also when he's playing weak side or strong side or whatever he's floating about doing.
Yeah, because it's additional momentum plus his power. So if he's putting on 5, 6, 7 pounds of muscle, that's going to be a lot. That's a lot more of a heavier amount than just putting on 5 pounds of fat or something, right?
Totally. So. And like we talked about prior, if there's any guy that can do it and put on weight and still be good and not lose speed, it's Micah Parsons. There was the video of him out doing the 10 or the 3-cone drill or whatever they call it against Deuce Vaughn. And he was beating
Chase?
Jamar Chase, and he was winning some of them. So he's going against guys that are a lot lighter than him and still holding true to it.
I think the truth of the matter is this: and Dan Quinn, we believe he's smart enough. All right, Lieutenant Dan. They are going to continually evolve this offense to allow Micah Parsons to be the best player he can be. He's that good of a rising star. Diggs is comfortable not competing with him to be a star on the defense. Micah has the personality, and let's be honest, he is the best player on the Dallas Cowboys.
I think best player, both sides of the ball.
By far.
Maybe a close battle with Zach Martin right now, because Martin has how many years of doing it, but I would put them going into Micah's third year. Micah's definitely, if not the top player on the full team, he's second. I would maybe go, this is actually a good conversation, the top 3 on the team. Top three, I would probably put, you could interchange Zach Martin and Micah Parsons. And then this might get a little heated. I think the third person might be tough for a lot of people, but to me, it's probably Dak Prescott for me. The third best player at his position on the team is probably, at this point, Dak Prescott.
I think he's young enough for that to like be a fair argument. And I think you look at I think the question is like, who would you want on your team if you were just doing a fantasy draft? You can pick Cowboys. Well, what order would you pick? And I think I would go probably, honestly, I might go Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, then Zach Martin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, just because Zach Martin, I hope he doesn't, but he could. These guards and these old linemen, they just get to a point where they're like, the body just does give out.
Yep.
And usually they're going to tap out right before that happens. And in fact, you don't really want him to stick around if he's going to have a failing year. So I'm just saying, I don't know. I hope it's not soon, but you got to prepare that Zach Martin may hang up the cleats after this season or in 2 seasons, right? So
I got Ultra Cowboy in the chat. Ultra is finally back. Hey man, why didn't we take Dalton Kincaid in round 1, bro? But he's saying Micah, Zach, and CD, not Dak. So the reason I put Dak in there is because you could still take CD Lamb off the team, and the team could win football games. And I get it last year. While Dak was out, the Cowboys won 4 games without him. But if you're going a full season without Dak Prescott, I don't think you're finishing 12-5. Whereas if you're going a full season without CD Lamb, you're still pushing for the postseason. Granted, I CD's right up there, and I don't want to lose any of those guys.
No, and luckily they're all on the same team, so we don't have to pick and choose. But I think CD is a fair like third arguable number 3.
Oh,
but
definitely.
I think everyone's agreeing Micah and Zach Martin 1A, 1B.
And then pick your poison.
I would even say you'd love to say TP, but
TP20, but it's another thing. Like
running back,
if he's out for the season.
Oh, sure.
It's just such the position I think has to play into it quite a bit too, as shitty as it is, because we're talking about a pure skill set. And that's what makes Zach Martin even more impressive, because he plays right guard, which isn't usually the best player on your team. You're never saying your right guard's your best player on your team, but he has been for the Cowboys for the last 7 or 8 years. So it just shows how good that dude is.
I saw someone throw up there, I think it was Ultra Cowboy on the chat about Terrence Steele.
Yeah, he was saying, so where was that here? Let me find it.
Right there.
So Ultra Cowboy put, the best thing that I heard was on Friday, Michael Gelkin, who is plugged in, said Terrence Steele will be the starting left guard, which I don't love.
I don't love.
I don't know because they're obviously, if that's the case, they're going Tyron Smith at right tackle, which he played all right last year, but you're banking on Tyron Smith to stay healthy. I'd almost rather have Tyron Smith play left guard and let Terrence Steele get back to where he was killing it prior to his injury. So it might be maybe Steele isn't completely recovered and maybe won't be able to get the jump out on guys that are rushing. Whereas at playing guard, you kind of have, you have your center and your tackle to kind of bail you out a little bit.
Yeah. You're not a kind of a last line of defense.
You're not on an island, right?
Who knows? This might be what they are going to have to start with because Steele just might not be, guaranteed he won't be 100%, but he just might not even be able to play for a couple week or two or three. But anyways, the big news there is a little settle down, everyone. Dan Quinn had to settle down the classroom and say, don't get excited. But I like Micah Parsons out there.
Put your PPs back.
Micah Parsons finds a way. I mean, it's easy when you're a star athlete like he is, and then also on the Dallas Cowboys. But he finds a way to be in social media a lot, and never really piss you off, do something stupid. He's not hanging around bums. Like, I really love this guy. He's going to be a long-term asset to the team. Unless there's something we don't know about.
He's going to become, let's say this, he's going to become the highest paid defensive player in the NFL when it's his time.
Absolutely.
And so we got to get that Super Bowl, son. Before we got to pay Diggs, before we got to pay CeeDee Lamb, before we got to pay Micah Parsons. And we talk about windows, man. Well, this is a fucking window. Oops, I went to the main title. This is the window. If you don't win now with these three guys on their rookie deals, it ain't getting easier after, because they're going to take a giant portion of the salary cap after their rookie deals. So this is it. This is it, man. You gotta bang. Let me bang, bro. Let me bang, bro.
And the kind of scary thing. The kind of scary thing is, like when it's not just him. Like Micah Parsons, one guy, but there's CeeDee Lamb, there's Trevin Diggs.
Yep.
Parsons, I believe, is 2026, but there's like 4 or 5 big contracts that you want to sign these guys coming up. Now, luckily, the NFL salary cap has been increasing by like 15 to 20 million a season. So you can think by 2026, there's going to be 50, 60, 70 more $million. So hopefully it's more reasonable.
Yep.
But, I mean, these contracts, they're just going to get out of fucking control.
So we got Akeem Smith in the chat saying, people that don't believe in Dak, don't be on a fan when you fake-ass fans. So he's basically saying, if you're not with him when he's not winning Super Bowls, if he does win a Super Bowl, don't be on his dick, basically, which I don't hate that. We got Kilo C. Like and comment and subscribe. Kilo, the moderator of the year. What up? Stephen White. Hi, y'all. What's going on, Steve? How you doing? And then we got Ultra Cowboy. Cowboys will roll over the $22 million for the Lamb contract. And here we go. Get one. Crack him if you got him, son. I got to get one of those too before I cut you off doing it.
Yeah, it's so hot. I'm drinking this like a water.
This was probably the worst day for us to not have a case.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it is like you're just sweating out what you drink, basically. Oh, crack him. That one was messy. That was a messy crack him.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta deal with that mess. Yeah, well, what was that last comment there?
So we got Akeem, I've not been wrong about Dak. Dude is not a killer. So Ultra Cowboys not feeling it.
Akeem. Oh, sorry. I thought that was I thought that was that 5th round draft pick, and he was saying that dude is not a killer.
Oh, Akeem.
Yeah, sorry.
I got you.
My bad. Sorry, Akeem. Look, here's what I want to go in fresh. I don't want to have battles with my fellow Cowboys Nation about Dak Prescott if he's good or bad.
He's here for the next probably 4 years.
He's here for the next 4 years. Let's just judge each game. Let's go in and judge each game and not be fucking stupid either way.
Yep.
Saying, oh, he is, like, when he has a bad game, we'll call him out. When he has a good game, let's be honest about it and give him that praise. But no one has to, like, it doesn't mean that you're switching shifts or switching your position on him. Like, you can keep your position and I'll keep mine.
Yep.
But let's not, because the argument of get rid of him, it's just not going to happen. And so let's put our time that we have together better spent on judging him game by game.
And I'll say, I don't want to stroke our own egos or our wieners, but I feel like we're pretty good at when Dak plays shitty, we say he played shitty. Like, we're not under some impression that when he, like the San Francisco loss in the postseason,
Yeah.
a lot of that was on him. Those 2 interceptions at terrible times in the red zone and then in their own territory, those were terrible decisions by him.
Yes.
And they led to us losing that postseason game, only scoring, 12 points, whatever the fuck it was, when they only had scored 19. A lot of that blame goes on Dak Prescott.
Absolutely.
But he's still a lot better than most people.
Oh, he is.
And it's always going to be one of the biggest talking points. It was the same with Romo. It's been the same with Dak. And unless you're going to see it, as soon as Dak has a multi-interception game, the pitchforks are going to be coming out.
And maybe I'll join him for that game, if that's the case.
Light him up!
Well, it depends which kind of pitchforks you're talking about. We're not doing that. We're not doing that kind. Okay. Schedule breakdown. We did our schedule, our dream schedule. Didn't really turn out what we thought it would be.
What did we go?
Oh, should I pull it up?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I know we went 0-18, but it'd be funny to just throw it up. And what people didn't understand, we made a dream schedule. It was basically as us being fans, being selfish fans, what would have worked out best for us to be able to travel to games and see games. So, I mean, and you're just throwing basically a dart at a board when you're going for that stuff anyways, right? It's definitely not an easy thing to try to do.
Yeah, we were just having some fun.
We were having some fun with it.
So I don't know. We don't have to say it. If you're an audio listener, you're going to have to come in and actually watch the podcast to see or go back and listen to our previous episode where we do create this dream schedule. But we built, for all y'all YouTubers, we made this for like what we wanted to see. And I'll point out some quick things real quick. The 11th and 12th are the games that we're going to go to each year. So come join us. 12th being Thanksgiving. So we were like, oh man, it'd be great to have Eagles come play us on a Thanksgiving game because we never want to go to Philadelphia. And then what better place to go than the week before than Miami,
South
baby.
Beach, baby.
So we were hoping a Miami game. We were very close with the Panthers actually in week 10.
Yep.
Because that's what it actually turned out to be.
Right.
And then we kind of wanted to give the Cowboys a little away game, home game kind of fairness, and we put the bye in week 14 to give them a nice rest right before the playoff run.
Playoffs.
Exactly. But nothing really turned out in our favor. But that's okay. That's okay.
That's fine.
Real quick, week 11, week 12 turned out to be the Carolina Panthers at the Carolina Panthers, and then Washington Commanders come to play us in week 12. And I don't mind it.
I don't hate it.
I don't mind it. Commanders is it's a good one because it's like, okay, and I don't want to speak too soon, but at this point, you gotta think that you're feeling pretty confident about Cowboys winning that game.
Right.
Right? So it's like, okay, we're gonna get a win out of here. And then Carolina, all right, we get to see the number 1 drafted QB in week 11. So by then he's gonna have the rust.
He should be legit.
He should be legit.
Not to mention, hey man, Carolina at that time of the year, like we said, we're going to week 11 and week 12. I was worried we were going to get Buffalo or New York Giants and be outside November 19th, I believe is the day of their game, that Sunday. I was worried we were going to be freezing our balls off in Buffalo or New York, which last year we were in Minneapolis, but it's an arena. It's a stadium. It's got a roof on it.
And it was actually a really sunny day, too.
It was a nice day.
We kind of hit like a
jackpot a little bit. But where's Buffalo? I don't think.
Oh no.
November to February. Yeah, sure we're Canadian, but we're kind of fake Canadians. We live on the West Coast. It doesn't really get
it gets wet, a lot of wet, but it's not getting as cold as Buffalo. But Carolina looked nice. I'm excited to go, and I believe it's not 100% yet, but we're looking to be driving.
We're thinking about it.
Because it's essentially the same as last year.
Correct. It's funny. Last year we went basically from the as north as you can go in the States to Texas.
Yeah, from Minnesota.
And now we're almost going as far east you can go to Texas. So I kind of like it. And then hopefully next year it's like San Francisco or something. Yeah. So then we've literally hit Almost,
Oh,
and
the
then
trifecta?
it'd have to be Seattle because then you'd get that corner, and it'd almost make a Maple Leaf if we got all the.
Yeah. That's
Oh
very
shit!
Canadian.
I hit something. I
No.
fucked up.
I have my.
I thought I fucked up.
Don't worry about me. Don't worry about that. So, shall we go through and,
let's
and
do
maybe
it.
break down? How do you want to do this? Should we just run through the schedule and then let's go back and talk about
Sure.
each game?
I think. Do we do a prediction show or do we wait till ads back to get predictions?
Well, let's give our first
Initial
take, but then we definitely do need to do a prediction.
Did you see my tweet on I guess Twitter? Someone asked me what I thought or what we would go, and I said, well, the homer in me thinks 17-0, and the realist in me thinks 17-0.
I didn't see that.
Anyways, I love it too. I love saying we're going 17-0 and winning the Super Bowl because people just get so butthurt about it. Oh yeah, here we go.
Hang on, let me just. Oh, of course the audio's.
So this was our initial prediction. This came out right at as soon as I could steal the blogging and the boys image. I made this little TikTok
Shout out blogging.
For spin, win, 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 by win, 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 playoff wins, Super Bowl. Let's go.
And people just get so mad about that.
I know.
People get so heated. I don't actually think we're going to go 17-0 and win the Super Bowl. If we do win the Super Bowl, it's not because we went 17-0.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Super Bowl hope, but that's the attitude you got to come into the season with.
You got to.
All right, I'm seeing some predictions sub 10 wins. I'm like, if the Cowboys don't win, and I know they got a hard schedule, and we're going to go through this right now, just like a pre-game to our actual predictions when Adam comes back. But yeah, like you got to have that win mentality, okay?
So why would a team that just went 12-5, 2 seasons in a row, that got better in the offseason, in my mind, end up getting under 10 wins when the division hasn't gotten that much better?
Well, let's see what people might be thinking. So, week 1 at New York Giants. I mean, let's go week and let's just have a quick discussion on each game.
Sounds
Let's
good.
Make it simple, all right?
So I like this. I like the week. This is how we roll. This is how the Cowboys and the Giants have done the start of their seasons for the better part of the last decade. It almost just seemed annually the Giants and the Cowboys were going to play on Sunday Night Football. That's just kind of how it was. And then they went away from it for a few years.
And they did Buccaneer.
Yeah, they did. We opened against the Bucs the year after they won the Super Bowl. And then again,
I think because Tom
last
Brady
year.
was playing.
And then again last year. So that we kind of went away from that the last 2 seasons, but now we're back to Cowboys Giants Sunday Night Football, first primetime game of the season. Obviously, sans the opening kickoff game, but I'm excited for it. It's got a good rivalry going. Both the Giants have gotten better also.
Oh yeah.
So they're no schlubs. They're a playoff team. They're playoffs. They made it to the postseason last year. So I'm excited for it. I think that game could go either way, but I still think you got to give the edge to the Cowboys.
I would give edge to the Cowboys, but it's going to be probably outside of just the I don't know, stakes of a game that might make me nervous. This week 1 is going to be a nerve-wracking game. Not only because historically in the last couple of years we've seen out of one half of those years we lost our starting QB,
right?
So that's like a little okay. Let's just make sure everyone's fired. Like if someone's going to get hurt from a nagging injury, it's going to happen week 1, week 2.
Right.
So it's like get through those type of weeks. Like the guy who's had the nagging hamstring all training camp, but he's been able to get through the preseason.
Yeah, he's fine. And then pop goes the pop goes the weasel. Yeah, but
I think obviously got to go Cowboys on that.
You got to give the edge to the boys a little bit, right?
Yeah. And then week 2, New York Jets come to play in Cowboys. And that's going to be a fun game.
Well, you got Aaron Rodgers, who's been the Cowboys killer as of late. So he's in a different color green this time. He's not in the Green Bay Packer green. He's in that gang green. The New York Giants, Jets, Jets, who they're a legit team, dude. The Jets are a legit team. They were very good last year when they didn't have a quarterback. So I would be very surprised if the Cowboys pull that one off, I could see that being a loss. It's going to be a good bar setter right at the start of the year, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, and seeing Aaron Rodgers show up in a different jersey too, that's going to be...
Yeah, that's weird. It just feels weird. The reason it feels weird with the Aaron Rodgers thing is because he basically had the same thing happen to him as Brett Favre did.
I know.
The Packers drafted Aaron Rodgers. He sat behind Brett Favre for 3 years. Favre leaves, goes to the Jets. Fast forward 12 years or whatever the fuck it was. And the exact same thing happens now with Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers. It's kind of history went full circle a little bit there.
Sorry, I figured out what was wrong with my laptop here.
Yeah, just a sleep setting.
Yeah, but it's because it's not plugged in, so I'm going to lose battery in a sec.
Oh,
but why don't we move on to week 3?
What do you think, New York Jets or Cowboys?
Oh man,
it's tough.
Okay, I'll say Cowboys again, but this time because I think the Jets are going through. They're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna be hitting the ground running by week 2.
Okay. You think they're going to need to play a couple high caliber teams like the Cowboys to kind of get their footing.
And I think Rodgers is comfortable with that. He's comfortable taking 6 games, 7 games of the season, and then making sure, okay, now all the cylinders are firing. Let's go out and win out the last, 8 of these last 10 games or whatever, and get into the playoffs. Like I think the smart move is like to realize, because it's not just Rodgers. They brought in a bunch of pieces.
Yep,
bunch of different pieces. So,
totally. Guys that Rodgers wanted, they've drafted pretty well. I do like what Stephen White said here. We could be 3-3 as easy as 6-0, which I don't argue with. That could be. We got teams like, obviously, the New York Jets, who could be a powerhouse. Then you got the San Francisco 49ers, who have been a pain in our dick for the last 2 seasons. And then you got, there's a bunch of good teams still that were playing in the first 6 weeks. The Chargers, very good up-and-coming team.
Yeah.
Arizona Cardinals, I mean, they haven't showed much. New York Giants, decent. So you're right. We could be 3-3 or we could be 6-0. It's a little bit scary.
I think when you get to here, Cardinals and Patriots week 3 and 4, we haven't really played a stellar team. The Jets might be a stellar team. They could be.
They could be, possibly.
It all depends on how they get out of that starting block. They certainly on paper do, but like I said, so I don't know. It's not really until week 5, not to jump past those. I'm just saying like Cardinals, I think is a win, and Patriots, I think is a win.
Should be. The Cardinals definitely be, and chat's basically saying right now, who's playing QB for the Cardinals? Because Kyler Murray should still be out. So without Kyler Murray, who has been a Cowboy killer a little bit, doesn't lose in Texas at AT&T Stadium. So it's, although it is in Arizona, so that would help. But he's right. If they're not playing Kyler Murray, that definitely gives us the advantage.
Well, when's the next Call of Duty coming out? Because if it happens to coincide with the game...
Jerry's just going to develop the game. Jerry's going to develop the new Call of Duty and have it launched the Thursday before week 3 so that Kyler Murray's just full on meth heading in his game room, just full on Twitch streaming for 78 hours.
And one thing to look at here is we go home, away. So there's a lot of bumping around. Then you get to New England. I mean, is anyone really scared of the Patriots?
Not really. They had a good draft. They did have a good draft. Mac Jones is now in his 3rd year, I believe, so he's going to be better. 3rd year's kind of the shit or get off the pot season as a quarterback. Are you the man? Are you not the man? So he could have big strides, but we have them at home also, so that helps.
Yep.
Then it gets a little tricky though, AJ. From week 4, we have a couple pretty tough teams, both playoff teams from last season. The San Francisco 49ers in San Fran or Santa Clara or wherever the hell they play. And that's a game that I'm pretty sure everyone's got circled on their calendars. That's a measuring stick game. The Niners are pretty much the same team they were last year. Sans, their quarterback, having a terrible injury on his throwing arm. Should be good by week 5. And they still have all their key pieces that they had in the postseason win against the Cowboys last year.
Yeah, and it really doesn't matter who's throwing the ball in San Francisco. You're going to pretty much always be like, that's who we've been used to playing against is whoever their quarterback is.
Right.
It's not really the 49ers team as a whole is a factor. The quarterback.
You were never scared of Jimmy Garoppolo.
No.
And I wasn't really scared of Brock Purdy. Right? And that's what you're saying. They have such a good supporting cast.
It doesn't matter who comes in to play. Yeah, Brock Purdy's numbers last year were like
very good.
Well, they were good.
Game manager.
Yeah, exactly. It was nothing. They were numbers that you'd expect any QB could come in and do in the NFL.
With that fucking team?
With that team.
Yeah.
With
that team.
I think San Francisco 49ers is going to give us a run for our freaking money.
Yep.
I want to say win.
That's another Sunday night game. P.S. I love you.
What's that?
Oh, instead of just saying P.S., I was going to say that's another Sunday night game. P.S. Just because it's a post statement. And I just wanted to add an I love you at the end.
Oh, that's sweet. Okay. So which is the P.S. then? The I love you or the?
Yeah. Well, that's the funny part when you say post statement after you've already said your post statement.
Oh,
because you're supposed to say P.S. and then your post statement.
Yeah.
But I had a post statement, and then I wanted you to know it was a post statement, and then I just wanted you to know that I wanted you to know I loved you.
That's grammar, baby. I don't know, and I'm gonna say this now.
Say it.
I think they lose to San Fran.
Oh, AJ. You know what? I'd rather take
only because I said they're gonna win the first four. So.
I would rather take a week 5 loss on Sunday Night Football and get a win in the postseason.
Oh, 100%.
If that's what it takes. I mean, I'd rather kick their ass in week 5 and then fuck them up wild card or NFC Championship game. But they're a tough team. They're probably going to be rated one of the best teams going into the season. Obviously, you get Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. Mm-hmm. But San Francisco would have been right there if they had a quarterback in the NFC Championship game. So,
and then we go to the other side, or no, we stay on the West Coast with the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yep.
Another
good team.
Another good team, but a tier below the Cowboys, I feel.
You're thinking so? I think they haven't crossed it team-wise?
Yeah, I think we might. I think that, honestly, the Cowboys are on that lower level of the elite teams in the NFL, especially now. Up there with, obviously, 49ers, Eagles. Well, I guess I'm looking strictly at the NFC.
Right.
Just because give me time. I gotta.
Yeah, but that's what matters.
AFC.
That's what matters. Win your division. You know.
And then I think the Chargers can make a run for the money, but I don't think that they. I mean, nothing about them screams the Cowboys can't beat this team.
Exactly.
Eckler is someone who's really special, though. But I feel, and we're gonna have to find out, that the run issues have been like sufficiently resolved, or like they bought all the ingredients to plug those holes. Like
they put a lot of resources at that.
Yeah, they got the Gorilla Tape. They got the stuff that you slam, that the guy slams on the big tub of water that's leaking. You know, they're plugging all the holes.
They're plugging all those holes, man.
And what do you think about LA?
It's tough. I hate to go back to what Steve said in the chat, but he's so right. That we could be 3-3 or 6-0, and neither would surprise me. I honestly hope
first 6 weeks.
First 6 weeks you could easily go 3-3 or 6-0, and I probably wouldn't be mad at either, depending what those 3 losses were. Like I would hate to have a huge win against the Jets in week 2 and then lose to the Cardinals, right? So that's unacceptable shit like that, but. If you lose to the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, you're like, damn it. And it was a close game. You're like, okay, that's the measuring bar. If you lose to a close game against the San Francisco 49ers, you're like, damn, that's the measuring bar. And then week 6, if you lose to the Chargers, you're like, okay, that's a measuring bar. So I wouldn't be mad with losses to either of those teams. Maybe any one of the other teams. If we lose to the Cardinals, the Giants, or the Patriots, I'd be a little bit pissed.
Well, this is why the Cowboys have to go at least 4-2 for me to feel good about them going into the bye week.
Yep.
Because they can't lose to the Jets, the 49ers, and the Chargers.
No,
because then that means they're just not good enough to play with the big boys.
That's a good fucking point, actually. Yeah. If they lose...
They have to beat one of those teams, and I think they got to beat the 49ers or the Jets.
Yes. Oh, that's actually a really good point, because it's showing those teams are going to be in the postseason.
Yeah.
If you can't hang with them early on in the season with a team that our teams, like the Cowboys team has stayed as a whole pretty well. Like, it's pretty much the same team from last year. So there's no excuse, team chemistry, blah, 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 blah. If you
you think about the pillars or the core of the team, it's been 3 years now.
Exactly. So there's no excuse for us to lose to all three of those teams. I like that. 4-2. Got to be 4-2.
Got to be 4-2 to feel good. Anything above that is fucking exceptional and unexpected.
Anything lower than that? Yeah.
3-3 is just like, if 3-3 is like, okay, you got a C-, you're still in the class.
Yeah, you're still here. You better, this back half of the semester, you better pull your weight.
But however it breaks down, at least they get to the bye in week 7. Then it's a long run here, 10 games to the end, and it gets difficult.
Oh, I like this. Chargers is definitely going to be an L. Have to beat Kellen Moore. Yeah, you gotta beat. That's a little side hustle. We gotta beat Kellen.
Thanks for bringing that up, Jeremy Anello or Anello.
We have to beat Vanilla Pudding.
Because if VP, where are we? Well, we're gonna walk into VP's house, Vanilla Pudding's house, and
so then we go to the bye week 7, which I don't hate, don't love. It's a little early for me for a bye week.
Yeah.
But then we come out of it with a home game against the Los Angeles Rams, who to me aren't the team they were that made the postseason and won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So that should be a win.
Should be a win. Sorry, week 7 bye. Why that could be good, real quick, is if they are 3-3, it gives you some time to go back to the drawing board.
Pull your pants up.
Fix what's going on. So I don't like it. I'd rather have it in week 14, the other side of that spectrum. But
AJ, you're having some good points tonight. I'm in like week 7. I fucking hate it, but then that's a good point.
Well, you got to work with what you're given. Okay?
If they're 3-3, or fuck, God forbid, 2-4, that's the perfect time to be like, okay, we have a lot of shit to figure out. This isn't the bye week to get healthy. This is the bye week to get better. So that's what it usually is in the later part of the year. The bye week's used for guys that are nicked up to possibly take a week off.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, if they're going in 2-4, 3-3 into the bye week, not many people aren't going to be
no.
at the Star in Frisco studying or getting better.
We're going to have a lot of frustrating live chat combos. That's for damn sure. Yeah, sorry. Week 8, LA Rams. I think it's a win. I still think they could come out with some fire if Stafford, he's the QB for the Rams, am I right? Yeah.
Yep.
If Stafford pulls his socks up and has a year that he did 2 years ago. He had a bum year last year.
Well, he got hurt. He had injuries.
Yeah.
The guy's, he's proven he's an amazing player. 2 of the best wide receiver seasons in NFL history. Who do you think the quarterback was? Matthew Stafford with Megatron and with Cooper Kupp.
Wow.
There's obviously, I get it. I get it. Those are 2 great players, but you can't just put anyone throwing to them. So.
No, exactly. It takes a connection. It also shows that he has the ability to communicate in a way with those types of receivers.
He knows how to bring the best out with superstars. So Bandwagon Baba, they're always rusty after a bye, so the earlier the better.
Okay.
That's another great take.
Very good point.
And I will say this, yesterday, happy Mother's Day, by the way, to all the moms out there, including Bandwagon Baba. But I was on Bandwagon Baba's phone on Friday, and I changed her username from her real name to Bandwagon Baba for her.
I see that. That's awesome.
She's in there swinging. Let her bang, bro.
But then, using that logic, then coming to play LA Rams, not a team that we should fear.
Yeah,
it's nice to come off the bye then if they are going to be a little rusty, and
that's a good good punching team. Get your gloves back on, get out of there. You're not rusty, and beat up the Rams and get to the Eagles.
Yeah.
So I do like the fact that we have the Eagles in Philadelphia week 9 instead of having that right after the bye. Oh man, that's going to be a good game, and I hope both starting quarterbacks play that game.
Well, it's early November. I don't know when the Eagles bye week is. Let me look that up. But yeah, we want to see, because we have not seen that yet.
We haven't seen since they were. Yeah, we have seen
not
it,
since
the Eagles
Hurts emerged.
Yeah, since Hurts is being crowned the greatest quarterback since sliced bread, if sliced bread was ever considered a good quarterback. But since he's been as good at since his great MVP season last year, he hasn't played Dak Prescott. We had Cooper Kupp Cooper Rush
Yeah.
versus Jalen Hurts, and then we had Gardner and Minshew versus Dak Prescott. We want to see Hurts versus Dak with all of their arsenal, their whole squad. So Jeremy's saying week 10 is Eagles bye.
Yeah, so right after this. So real quick, this is who the Eagles play. New England, Minnesota, Tampa Bay, Washington, Rams, Jets, Miami, and then Washington, and then Dallas.
So I have to say, they don't have
a. I mean, the Rams again are that and then
but they have
New York Jets.
They have a couple tough teams in there.
Well, who though? I'm
saying in the
Miami. Yep, Miami for sure.
You got the Cowboys, you got the Jets. The Jets are going to be a good team.
Jets are going to be good for sure.
I mean, New England, we don't know. I'm expecting New England to be good.
I guess it's that they play. Yeah, New England will be good, but like, they're kind of like a football team.
Yeah.
But I guess it's because they play Washington twice before.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
it's like serve up 2 easy wins.
Easy wins.
You got Washington,
and they're kind of double wins.
Washington,
because they're divisional, right? So it's like you,
which sucks. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks that they get 2 easy ones because it puts them up in the standings right away.
Don't worry. This is a sprint or a marathon. Not a sprint.
What do you think? Week 9 at Philadelphia Eagles, win or loss?
I mean, this one could be a loss.
AJ, what you should do too, just highlight whatever game we're talking about.
Oh, sir. Sorry.
Just so anyone that's hopping in. And if you're just hopping in, give us a like, give us a subscribe if you haven't done it. We get off on that. All those new subscriptions. So Philadelphia Eagles, you think it's going to be a loss?
Well, look, I can't go through and go 17-0. So I'm trying to, okay, because I do think that they can beat the Eagles.
You better give us the fucking win when we face them week 14 then.
Yeah. Well, that's my thing is we're beating the Eagles.
But you might have a flip of a coin. It might be they get one, we get one.
Yeah, I mean, I need to see what these Eagles look like. They look like they improved their team.
Yep.
But I need to see that, first of all, Jalen Hurts had a great season. We've seen QBs have one great season. Who was that kid in for the Browns? Anderson or something like that? And he came in and had one.
Oh, yeah, years ago.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, Derek Anderson?
Yes.
Derek Anderson had a great season, one season.
And chat, you could probably throw it today's too, but like quarterbacks come and go. I don't think from what I see from Hurts that's the type of QB that he is. I think he's going to be here to stay. But he could come out like Kyler Murray. He could have a Kyler Murray type of downfall. Yeah.
Well, and this is my thing with running quarterbacks, and he is a running quarterback. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, he had some good throws. Yes, he had some touchdown passes. His game is as a running quarterback. That catches up to you, dude. It will catch up to you eventually. I don't care if you squat.
There it is.
There it is. There's the alarm. I don't care if you squat 10,000 pounds. Eventually, it's going to catch up to you. The wear and tear on quarterbacks it's a true time-proven, tested thing. Any mobile quarterback eventually gets nicks and bruises. Is it going to be in his 4th season? Maybe not. But the more they pile it up, the bigger the odds, the bigger the chances of him having injuries. I mean, he was banged up even last year going into the postseason.
Hey, look at our boy Dak. He was really good scrambler. Had that horrific injury, and maybe he will bounce back to that, but I think he doesn't want any part of that game anymore.
Dak.
Yeah,
Dak. He doesn't.
Like, he was, actually, we did see him throw caution to the wind on a couple plays last season when he needed to.
The Bucs game.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he was so good in the Bucs game. It was like Dak Prescott of old, diving at people and scrambling, and then it's like they got to San Francisco and it kind of changed. Had forgot about that.
But you don't want him to have to do that. I mean, in the playoffs is when you do it.
Playoffs.
But I'm saying there can be that moment at any single play in the NFL. It's such a rough sport, and these guys are huge. Like they're literal. The gladiators went from the fucking gladiator ring to the football
field. Definitely.
And it will just take one moment. So I'm never wishing that upon the dude, of course, and I hope he plays hard. But I'm just saying, when that moment happens, or if it happens, it will make you think twice. And if you're hesitating for a half a second, that's all the players need in the NFL to capitalize.
Oh, definitely. So you're saying You're saying week 9 loss. I'm going to go week 9 win.
Okay.
Just to be the yin to your yang. And then we have the Giants. Oh, wait a second. So we open the season, sorry, and I didn't talk about this, but we play at New York. For some reason in my brain, we were playing in Dallas on Sunday Night Football.
No, yes. Bolded are.
Yeah, Bolded is home. So then we got the Giants at home prior to the Thanksgiving Day, or 2 weeks before the Thanksgiving Day game.
A week before our trip.
So we pretty much have, in a 4-week span, a 4-week span. Did I say that? 4 weeks? We have 3 divisional games. You got Philadelphia, New York, then you have Carolina and Washington. So you're playing 3 division rivals in a 4-week span.
And then in a 6-week span, 4 of them is divisional from week 9 to 14. Right?
That's crazy. I don't hate it, though. I like those division wins, especially, or those division games. I like them in, obviously, you want them in the middle of the season, but then, of course, we're going to get to week 18. It's classic. The NFL is always going to go divisional games at the end of the year, but we'll get to that.
Smart.
So New York Giants at AT&T Stadium, November 12th. What do you think?
Win.
Oh yeah.
I'm not afraid of the Giants, man. I know they did get better though.
They did get better, but I can't see us losing to them.
No, at this point, look.
But Daniel fucking Jones, if Daniel Jones is your quarterback, I just don't see us. I don't see this defense that got way better losing to Daniel. I don't see us automatically now that the Giants are better when the Cowboys defense has gotten a lot better.
Dude, Daniel Jones is the most mind-blowing long-term. Pull back. I understand. It's a corporation. The Giants are a corporation. They have this guy who he can play NFL football, but I don't know, man. They went long-term on him with a lot of money, and maybe that's what they needed to pay, and that's what they were backed into a corner to do. I don't know. What would you have done? You take Daniel Jones for that money, or do you try to move up in the draft to pick an unknown, or who the fuck's in free agency? So I'm not like mind blown by why they did it, but it still is shocking the amount of money that Daniel Jones
got paid. $45 million a year.
Wild.
I did see something before we move on to the next game. I did see that the Cowboys, I want to say they only have 3, and I'm going to talk Pacific time because that's what we're in. Mm-hmm. They only have 3 10 a.m. games. So on there, it'll be 12 p.m. So how many 12 p.m. games do they have here?
Sure.
I see 1,
2, and then TBD.
Yeah. So which we hate. We don't as fans just because it's so early for us.
Yeah. No. I like excuse me. I like
the 125 games.
Yeah.
For us.
Yes.
So 325
middays.
325 Central Time. And we have 7 of those. So actually that's how okay. So it was they have
great.
I want to say they have 6 primetime games, 7 125 games. So what's that put us at there? 13. And then that would be I might have missed one. Yeah. But anyways, we have a lot of primetime, and we have a lot of 325 Central, or is that Central Time? CT? I think.
325 is EST, isn't it? Who knows? Oh, no, you're right.
This is all Central, I think.
This is Central, yes, this is Central.
But, so New York Giants, that's a win.
That's a win. Then we got the 2 games that we're going to, Week 11, at the Carolina Panthers. And it's kind of fun, because it's a 12 p.m. game.
Yeah.
So we're going to probably get a little early morning shit tanked.
Yep.
And then
it's going to be nice out.
It'll be nice out,
and then we have a full night.
Yeah, exactly.
To just wander around in Charlotte, North Carolina.
And if anyone out there has had an experience in Charlotte, North Carolina, let us know what to do. For me, it always feels like I love the baby blue, or whatever that color is that they have, because the Charlotte Hornets also had kind of a similar blue color. So that's what always comes to mind. I have no idea what Charlotte is like. I'm sure it's just like any other American city.
South City.
Yeah, but I have no concept of what things are like in
predetermined.
Carolina.
Predetermined thought about what you're going
like, if
to.
we're going to Seattle, I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
or
you know.
New York, I'm like, okay. I can, like, I've never been to New York, but I've seen enough things online that I know the stereotypes, right?
Yeah, it's like any city in the world. You've never been to, say, London, or you've never been to, what are some other big ones? Sydney, but you can expect it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Where Charlotte, I don't know. What are we going to see? I'm excited for it. I'm actually, when it got dropped that we were playing the Panthers the week before Thanksgiving, I was stoked with that game. We got Bryce Young, the number 1 overall taken quarterback and draft picked in this year's draft, to play.
Oh, yeah.
So that's sweet. I mean,
I was just like, I was only bummed at first because we set up our dream schedule.
Right.
I was like, oh, we're going to go to Miami first, and then we're going to go see the Cowboys beat the Eagles at home. This is going to be a perfect weekend.
which that would have been sweet.
But it's still, look, Carolina Panthers, like you said, I'm going to be interested to watch that team. And put it on the board, we kind of have been lucking out here, and I wonder how many years it'll go, but we're checking off stadiums,
I
baby.
like it. I'd like that we're not getting repeats. Let's get a double crack them.
Crack them if you got them.
Crack them if you got them, son. Yeah, no, I like the fact that we're knocking out stadiums. But I'm going win, AJ. With us in attendance,
Oh, yeah.
you got to go with the W.
Going with the W, I feel like also,
Two as well.
also too as well, Carolina is going to be kind of like Minnesota in the fans. Like we're gonna have a little bit of.
I thought you meant a beat down.
No, I hope so. That'd be great. I just mean sorry. The
Southern hospitality, man.
yeah. They're gonna be. There's just no beef. I don't think
There's no
between
beef.
Cowboys and Panthers.
There's no beef. And as far as we go, we can take the ribbing. We can take someone telling us to go fuck ourselves.
Yeah, no, and that I'm fine to do that, but it's like when you can see a person that's like now getting personal about it, where it's like, hey, first of all, I'm
like
cheering
cry
for-
mad?
Yeah, like I'm paying to be a fan of this team, and you are too. So, like, first of all, can we just acknowledge that? Do you want to fight? Do you want to pay to fight each other? This is fucking
And go to
ridiculous.
jail and get thrown out?
Let's just enjoy what we're paying for, my dude.
Call me a cocksucker and move on.
Yeah, but to do it friendly, you can always tell. that-
But how you fuck you, cocksucker?
yeah, no, totally.
Right? Like,
But it's all in the context of the vibe that you're giving off too. But you can tell in every single group, and I don't think there's one in Can Fan, but in every single group that we've met, anyways, there's always been one guy who hates all other teams, but everyone else is friendly, and you can see he's always kind of like not like standing
Why are
off
we-
to the
why are we
side.
talking to
like,
these
why are we
guys?
and it's like, okay, and usually it's the guy who's like donning the entire fucking head to toe face paint outfit or something. Like he is just lives and breathes the team. And I just remember they were nice dudes. The Viking guy who brought us onto his bus
yep.
last year. And I just remember seeing one, I don't even know if he was with them or not, but he was by the bus and he was like totally
Pissed.
like, why are you guys coming
Yeah.
on here, going on there? Like, you can't be friends.
So we got Tokeman Jr. review in the chat. Is anyone even listening to our chat comments, or are they just talking so we can listen? So if this is your first time in chat, Tokeman, I'll give you a little bit of.
Hey, Toke, man, toke it up.
I'll give you a little bit of behind baseball. Usually there's 3 of us. So Alex and I I'm usually sitting on a different spot of the studio, and Alex and I are usually engaging in conversations. And then Bandwagon Boy 1, also known as Adam Bessie, also known as the World Traveler, who is in Japan right now.
That's right.
He is usually the medium from chat to us.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my best here. I get very fog-brained on the topics we're talking about and kind of go away from chat. But yeah, we are paying attention. We're watching. And if you ever come back, Adam is usually the guy that is delegating the chat. So
Well, I think Tokeman Jr. is saying here 13-4 is our record. I think that's a fucking fair record, my dude.
I would take
because,
I would take it.
yeah, as we said earlier, anything lower than 12-5, I think you can consider that a
Anything under 12-5 with the full roster with Dak Prescott, anything under 12-5 is unacceptable. And then anything under 12-5 and not advancing past the divisional round is a lost season to me. We went 12-5. Sorry, I've said this before.
Yep.
We went 6-9 Mike McCarthy's first season. The COVID season, dare we say the C word, the Dak injury season, right? That's a mulligan, right? We went 6 and whatever. The following year, we go 12-5, make the playoffs. Lose in the wild card round, right? Shitty. That sucks. But you got to give the guy a little bit of slack. Okay. Following year, we go 12-5 again. We beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady in the
Tom Brady.
We retire Tom Brady, and then we move on to the divisional round and get embarrassed on national television against the San Francisco 49ers. This year, we have to get past the divisional round for it to be a success. And Tokeman saying, much love, been sub for a while. We appreciate it, man. Right now, I know, watch you guys watching the game at the same time. I love your reactions. Oh, and those are just pure. And those reactions are pure.
I don't know what we're going to be watching on next year, but we're going to pick the version that gives us the least amount of delay.
No, I think
you got it? Or we got
Ad and I talked about it. We're going to have Sunday ticket on TELUS or Shaw, whatever he's with. So it's going to be maybe a 3 or 4 second delay.
Okay, but it'll be
not 20 seconds.
Yeah, we're not doing online streaming then.
I don't think so. I think we're actually going. We're going to get into the cable.
We're doing it, Peter.
For Adam being such a high tech guy, he still hasn't cut the cable box, so which is good for us.
No, but I think he's got the boys and the wrestling, and so
right,
you gotta keep everyone happy.
Makes sense.
Week 13, Seattle Seahawks. This is the first. Oh no, sorry. This is.
We didn't talk about Thanksgiving.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I thought
another game we're going to be at Thanksgiving. I think we can just touch on it real quick.
This is the first Thursday game, but it's a special.
It's special.
It's a special game,
and it's American Thanksgiving. AJ, and I'm kind of disappointed in me. I'll say you, Adam, and myself.
Mm-hmm.
We've been now to 2 Thanksgiving Day games in Texas at AT&T Stadium, and not one of us has ever gotten the turkey dinner.
Bought it.
No, we haven't. In the stadium, they have the turkey dinner that none of us have ever got. I think one of us just we have to.
Next year, let's do it. And we can split it. We can all have a little bit of American because we celebrate in Canada. We've already
we've had our turkey, Phil.
Oh, look who shows up in the fucking crowd. It's BW1.
BW1, konnichiwa. And I'll get the turkey din this year. Yeah, well, 1, Adam, don't spill it all over your jersey. And 2, don't take a whole quarter to get it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think everyone was packing it in at that point, obviously, because they didn't serve them. Okay, so Washington Commanders. I mean, that's a victory.
It's got to be.
Who's scared of the Commanders? Are you serious? They were the entire NFC Beast got better.
Yeah.
Might be easily the best division.
Oh, again, back-to-back, the NFC Beast.
Yeah.
What we have to worry about the Commanders is we did see them with their new quarterback, Howell. I believe Sam Howell, I believe is his name. They decimated the Cowboys in Week 18 last year going into the postseason. So it'll be interesting to see if they're actually good or if the Cowboys just had a very bad game. Yeah,
this is a Week 12 game, so they better be fucking playing.
Probably,
and it's on Thanksgiving.
I'm calling it now, that's probably going to be the most watched game of the year.
It absolutely is.
It's probably a good chance. Good betting odds anyways, unless I bet on it, and then it definitely won't be. So, yeah, but that's the odds.
Yeah, victory though, right?
W.
Big George W.
Big George W.
Week 13, we got the Seattle Seahawks. Another Thursday night game, which is interesting. They go back-to-back Thursdays.
Okay. So they have to do that because they go Sunday, Thursday, and then they couldn't do Sunday again because it would just be that'd be 3 games in a week.
Oh, I see.
So they have to do Thursday night after,
and then they can shorten it up the
right.
next one. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So
what were they didn't they have that last year? They had like 3 games in like 15 days.
15 days, and they'll still have that at some point this year. I mean, I'd have to really go into the dates to see when that stretch is, but the Cowboys always get a little bit dicked with a spot like that. So we'll have to see I think it happened to them almost twice last year. They had 2 weird 3-week, 3-game scheduling issues
that were like very close.
Seattle Seahawks. So what do you think, AJ? Are we beating them up?
I think we're gonna win. That's a victory to me, and I do love Geno Smith, man. That guy's story's it's a fun story. If you go and read, I mean, the only place that I know that you can read on it is Wikipedia, and then you can but then you can kind of like go off and read about each scenario.
I just chat GPT it. Tell me Geno Smith's story in what the fuck is the dude that Jerry Bruckheimer?
Yeah.
In a Jerry Bruckheimer type style movie.
And it'll tell you everything up to 2021, which is where things get.
Oh yeah, so you wouldn't get the ending.
No, but it doesn't matter because you know what happens after 2021 and becomes the starting QB in Seattle, so you can get all the good stuff of the story. But anyways, good story, but too bad, so sad. You're gonna eat a big L.
Before you move on from the Seahawks, you know who we're gonna get a real look at that game? Charbonnet.
Oh, actually, are we not potentially?
No, so that was preseason.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So yeah, we'll go. We have to. So the Cowboys travel up to Seattle to Lumen Field, week 2 in the preseason. We have to go. Yeah, it's a 3-hour drive for us.
Steve will probably want to come.
Why wouldn't we? We have to go do it. We'd be dumb if we didn't. It's good.
$40 tickets, you said, or something?
$40 tickets, man. Preseason, we got.
And I do want to see, like you mentioned, what I really liked about doing a heavier draft analysis. And the unfortunate thing about those videos is I think that they were very good, but we can't tell you to go back and watch them because they'll be boring as shit.
When the draft is over, nobody gives a hot F word.
At the time, I think that we were doing a good job being entertaining and learning on the fly, and you got to see that. But what it has built for me is, like you mentioned, now I'll be able to watch these players who I picked out, who I was really attached to, and see how they turn out.
As NFL players.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to make the entire NFL a little bit more exciting for me because I really pretty much only watch Dallas Cowboy games until their bye week, and then I might watch someone else. Or if there's an important divisional game, then for sure, definitely want to keep pace on it, but I might not watch the whole thing closely.
Right.
But this might change that. I might start watching a little bit more of the Seahawks because I want to see. I want Charbonnet to do well so I can go, see?
Yeah,
I told you we should have
how good he was. We should have drafted him. But you're saying Seattle week 13 is probably
a dub.
A W. And then we go back to those shitty Eagles.
Well, they come to see us. We got 3 homers in a row.
And that's a Sunday night. That's a Sunday nighter right there.
This one's a dub.
I'm going with the loss.
You think they're going to lose?
Well, I said the win on last time.
Okay.
And I think they're going to go 50-50.
You think they're going to go 50-50?
I think they're going to go 50-50. I do believe Dak owns the Eagles, but the Eagles are a damn good team. So if we can split 1-1 and then get them in the NFC Championship game, I'll take it. I will take it. And then, but
do you want them to lose? I want them to win out the rest of these games.
Okay, so that I was actually going to say that. I was looking at the schedule after this Eagles game.
They can.
I was looking at the schedule after this Eagles game. If they get a big loss, everyone's going to be questioning them. But then they have a run against really good teams.
Yeah, that's
the Bills,
true.
Dolphins,
and
Lions,
the Lions don't sleep.
And even the Commanders. So I'm just going to say it right now, AJ. I because it goes into my narrative of we lose to the Eagles and then we go on an absolute run. We finish out the season against the Bills, Dolphins, Lions, and Commanders, and then we go undefeated to the Super Bowl. So we just keep winning after that Eagles game. They get maybe embarrassed.
Yeah,
week 14. They maybe get embarrassed week 14 on Sunday Night Football against the Eagles, and then something just sets them off. So I don't know if that will happen. I would love it. I'd rather that happen than us beat the Eagles and then go on and lose in the wild card.
Okay, so let me just repackage how many losses I think they're going to have.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
I think we lost your sound.
No, I just moved back. From the mic. I was trying not to count in the mic. So 1, 2, 3. I only think they're going to have 3 losses.
I know, right? It's tough to...
I'll say 4 losses because I'll just plus 1 onto what I think. So 4 losses is what I think the Cowboys.
I'm going 12-5 again. I'm gonna go 12-5. It's kind of been the mark. McCarthy's just getting better. He's gonna be calling the plays. I think we're better than most of the teams that are on our schedule. So I'd be more than happy with 12-5. So add bandwagon boy 1. You guys call yourself Cowboys fans, asking them to get embarrassed by the Eagles. if we get embarrassed by the Eagles and then go on a fucking streak and win the Super Bowl, and that's what it takes, I'm willing to take that bullet to the leg and save the rest of the body by winning the Super Bowl.
And BW1, you know that this is a fucking Mighty Ducks type of storyline where they go in there, they get embarrassed and spanked by the team, and then Gordon Bombay, aka Mike McCarthy, and Dan Quinn in a combination role, fire the team up. They use some wild and crazy ways to in only a week to get the team to come back together. You know, they do like some wild things.
The Eagles can only wear their blacked out jerseys then, though, because it was always any Mighty Ducks movie. The team was like always just the dark, like the scary, the intimidating
Let's
jerseys.
have the bad guys wearing black.
Yeah, right?
Okay, yeah.
So Ad thinks that they're taking a loss to the Lions in week 17.
I don't like to hear that, but I think it's reasonable to say. I mean, I would say more potential that they lose to the Dolphins, to be honest.
Dolphins is a tough matchup.
Yeah.
Dolphins are a good team, and they're speedy. I hope this defense, with how much draft capital we put into it, I hope we're winning how we were winning at the start of the season in 2022 with Cooper Rush as their quarterback. I hope the defense takes the identity of the Cowboys instead of it being, and obviously it's going to be Dak Prescott's team, obviously. But I'd like to see these defensive matchup wins.
Here's what you want. You want Dak Prescott to be like, this is my team, but I know where our victories come from. And that's from the other side of the ball. So let's play an offense that, acknowledges that. Let's not go 3 and out 3, 4, 5 times in a game and make these guys come back on the field. Like, let's do what we can, even if it's not about scoring points, which sucks. You don't want to hear that, but stay on the field for an extra 2, get a couple extra downs out of it. So you give them a little bit more time to rest, whatever it might be, rather than going for the shot that might turn it like 50-50 shot, get the sure yardage. So, that's who I'm hoping Dak will be. And who knows, maybe there's a great competition because the offense is not slagging. Like, it's a fucking good offense. Think about it. You got Lamb, Cooks, Gallup as your 1, 2, 3. And if Gallup's not there, it's going to be Tolbert or...
Oh, I would love to see Tolbert take that turn.
Who's the... Those are kind of our 4.
Those are 4.
Those are kind of our 4,
Our top 3. Our top 3 right now are definitely Cooks. Sorry, CeeDee Lamb, Cooks, Gallup. They're expecting Michael Gallup to have that second year post ACL injury resurgence, basically.
Yes, yeah. He's beyond that excuse, let's say. Then you got Schoonmaker. I'm high on the guy. I believe this. I'm higher on this guy than the entire internet is on Deuce Vaughn, okay? Trust me. I honestly think Schoonmaker's going to come in and be very impressive. Now, I have Madden numbers in my head, so I'm not going to say them out loud, but I feel like he's going to easily replace Dalton Schultz and be a better blocker in his numbers that he produced. So I think everyone's going to be very, very happy and be shutting up about him. But that being said, we get to the backfield, Ant, and that's a bit of a question.
Yep.
Okay. Tony Pollard, I did see the numbers, though. It kind of made me look at him in a different way. I guess he does have very good broken tackle numbers and very good yards after contact.
Yeah, he's not just this speed back that we all kind of thought, because you have Zeke and then you had TP20, so you just assumed it was lightning and thunder, right? But Tony Pollard he can be. He's fast as fuck. He's one of the fastest guys on the field, but he can also break a tackle.
Yeah, so that kind of changed my perspective. Then you look at Malik Davis and Rojo.
Yep.
Okay, either one of them could play a role on the team. But the big news, and of course Deuce Vaughn coming in, and who knows? I mean, there's been a lot of high speak about him and a lot of kind of like, we'll see if we can use him in punts.
Yeah. You're not going to know till the guy.
We're not going to know till we
against other NFL players.
And to be honest, in fairness, I am excited to see him play. I hope he rips off a 90-yard fucking run the first time he's on the field, and I'm like, holy shit, that's amazing, right?
Totally.
Why? Yeah.
This is my thing. People keep going back to our initial reaction of the Deuce Vaughn draft choice. And like now they're still saying it like, oh, you guys are going to regret this. It's like, no, we're not. We're hoping that we're wrong.
Yeah.
We hope he ends up being Darren Sproles 2.0. We hope he's awesome. Why would we hope for a 6th-round draft pick to fail? We just didn't think at the time it was the best pick, which is fine, man.
Exactly. Like, I'm not going to lie and just...
Stroke egos, stroke dicks, or what?
Sorry.
Yeah, did Kilo, what happened? Did you drop what happened? Kilo saying AJ with the hold my beer
I think
grip.
I'm doing the dual vape.
Dual vaping it. How are you feeling on the Richter scale, the vape scale? You're a solid
pretty
6.
Good. Pretty good. Oh, yeah.
You're a solid 6, which is good.
This is a freshie. But what that was getting to was just the rumors of Dalvin Cook potentially being a June 1st cut.
Yep.
Which makes sense. And you said it, Anth, because our boy McBride ended up on the...
Yeah, the Vikings drafted...
in round 6.
Yeah, 7.
7, sorry.
He was a 7th-round pick. So Dwayne McBride was drafted by the Vikings in round 7, and now they're able to cut... They feel like they can cut Dalvin Cook because they have someone that can step into the role. So the reason I was mad about... And not even mad, just kind of shocked about the Deuce Vaughn pickup, and if he ends up being successful, awesome. But I was surprised because I thought Dwayne McBride could have came onto the Cowboys in round 6, even round 5, in 4 even.
Yeah.
And I thought he had a role that he could have filled on the team. And it just shows that he does, because now the Vikings are willing to get rid of a pretty good dude. And obviously it's because of his $14 million contract hit.
Yeah.
You see it right there. Dalvin Cook trade rumors. Vikings want to do right by running back despite $14 million contract hit. And this is what it brings to a question to you, Alex, because we talked about it in the group chat. You would want to sign him?
Well, here's the thing. It would have to come with a couple asterisks, because obviously bringing Dalvin Cook over for $14 million straight up, I mean, for me, I would say, here's my argument for that would be, well, are we all in this year? And if we are, then I don't give a fuck. Give the guy fucking 20 million. Like, whatever is left over, give it to him, get him on the team, because I think Dalvin Cook would just be such an incredible addition. Like, that offense now is looking all pro, man.
So I'm good with the Dalvin Cook thing if we could get him for like, I don't want to spend more than I'd say 4 or 5 million.
Right. And so there would, the asterisks I'm talking about is
Win now.
Win now. If they did it, I would be okay with it, because I'm like, okay, I don't mind sacrifice. If you're going to win the Lombardi this year, I don't mind sacrificing next year.
Totally.
Okay?
I agree.
Or a little bit of next year, because we still got a lot of pillars. This would just be a complication. Now, what I think would happen, though, is we've seen them do this fucking magic in contracts. They'd bring them over and they'd end up signing them for $4 million.
Yeah.
And still paying $14 million. So let's pretend that that's not an issue, because it really hasn't been an issue with the contract magic that NFL teams can do.
He's definitely, Dalvin Cook is a beast of a back. We've seen it. And before we went and played against Minnesota, I was worried that he would be kind of the kryptonite that took out the Cowboys, but they just decided not to give him the ball. It was like they kind of got, they got down too much before they could get Dalvin Cook running. And the guy's good. He's had some injuries issues, but he's going to still be a good NFL player for a few more years, definitely.
Well, he wouldn't have to come in and be a number one. He'd be pretty much a backup.
Just be in the get in the stable of running backs.
He'd be in the stable and he'd come to prove himself. Now, the likelihood of this is very, very low, because every time any sort of player, is rumored to have a trade, the Cowboys are always connected to it. So, I'm just saying, I like it. Probably a higher chance, though, if they're going to spend any sort of money over $4 million or any sort of money on a running back, because they might be happy with what they have.
Yep.
It's going to be Zeke that they'd bring back.
So Tokeman saying they're finally thinking about defense when it comes to the draft day, because back in the 90s, they had Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin, and now all they think is offense. So we'll end it with that. That's a good thought. I'm glad that they're finally going offense. Hey, man, a good Sunday service. We managed without Bandwagon Boy 1. Yeah, there might have been a few quips, but I think it went pretty well. We'll be back Wednesday night in studio for the main event. Will Bandwagon Boy 1 be here? We don't know. So you got to tune in and see.
Tune in and find out.
For Bandwagon Boy 2, sitting beside me with his double vape, and at best, we out. We will be back on Wednesday.
Peace.